You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake.
Why don't you start this one off?
Oh, enjoy your eggs, people.
Enjoy your eggs, people. This is the Before Hours Podcast, an internet radio phenomenon hosted by two cool guys. And we're just vibing, man. A short episode today because one of us was late to the recording session. It's not important who. What is important is that, Ilya, I want to go ahead and say you and I are friends. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool that we're friends? Are you going to name your child after me?
It's on the table.
It's on the table.
It's on the table.
Hell yeah, dude.
It depends how white he comes out.
Ooh.
If he comes out looking like me, maybe. But he's probably going to come out pretty dark.
Okay, because your wife is a WOC.
She is a WOC.
Mm-hmm. Which is a fun thing to say because no one says it out loud. I'm going to start that trend. I had a weird thing happen to me the other day. Can I talk about it?
No, I don't think this is a place for it.
Okay.
This is a place for us to have anecdotes and stories. Let's wait till we're done with the podcast.
Can you imagine we just sit here in silence for 45 minutes? And then
it's like, finally. What happened?
So I was doing my little bits on stage, right? And it was not the best show I've ever had. It was like four kind of like preppy Zoomer guys,
yeah,
right? And they seemed to think it was hilarious that I looked like Mark Zuckerberg, right? And then there were four black women in the back, and then there was a couple to the right of them. And so I get announced onto the stage. I'm going on stage. Those four guys that thought it was funny that I looked like Mark Zuckerberg were like chanting Mark as I walked on. And I was like, I definitely have their full attention, but I don't know if
were you brought up as looking like
so
Mark?
I think I told a little sloppily. They had seen me outside.
Okay.
And they were like, you look like Mark Zuckerberg. And I'm like, aren't you in for a treat?
Yeah.
Because I talk about that on stage. And as like I'm introduced Bobby Sheehan, and then they start like almost as a callback.
Yeah.
They start like chanting Mark. And so like I have a captive audience.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to be receptive to jokes? No.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually the worst because I would, it was one of those people where and I think it was because they were like young, pretty good looking guys. And they had a couple of drinks. So I couldn't even riff with them. You ever like an audience member, they don't understand the rhythm of riffing?
Yeah, I've never had great luck with that, I don't think.
Well, I think because some people totally get it. They understand the rules are like you answer questions and that's it.
I've had just people just flat out like they just don't respond.
That's the other end of the
because then
spectrum.
you end up like haranguing them. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you should say something. I'd asked you a question and then I just have to move on, and I've already killed the momentum by stopping jokes.
I think I've talked about this on the pod before, but when I was doing a show with Mark Henley, May He Live Forever, he was hosting, and he's a great host, and he was trying to get the audience to like chat, and he asked this group at a table, like, where do you guys know each other? And they like whispered to each other.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, guys, you can't, like, you know how you know each other. You can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So these guys were at the other end where like I would riff with them and then they would be like, we're also funny. And then I'm like, ugh. And then so I started talking to the black girls in the back, and they somehow one of the responses to one of the things I said was like me having red hair.
Yeah.
And then one of the girls went, you're black to me. And this is actually news to me. If you're just listening, I'm not black. So I was like, what? Please explain. And I remembered later that there was this viral video of like a girl with red hair, a woman with red hair saying like, we're like black people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now it's like, it's becoming, my girlfriend
Ginger is an anagram.
Yes. Yeah. I had this pointed out to me by a POC.
Oh, what kind of C?
I want to say black.
A black sea.
Black.
Okay. My parents used to vacation on the Black Sea. That's a popular destination resort in the Soviet Union because you weren't allowed to leave the Soviet Union. So a lot of people go to the Black Sea. Anyway.
Is that the one where you don't sink, or the one where it hurts your dick hole?
Those are both true of the Dead Sea.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Dead Sea, dude.
Yeah.
How about the Red Sea? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It's a different sea.
Oh, there is a Red Sea.
Yeah, there's an actual Red Sea.
Oh, is that also in the Middle East?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Famously parted by Moses.
Moses parted the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Nice. And he's like basically your Muhammad, right?
Yeah, he's our Muhammad. That's what his initial nickname was, like, welcome, you're Muhammad. Moses. Muhammad, of course, not having yet.
Do you think Moses went by Mo for short? And then that's, where Muhammad came from later?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Fun little
No one knows what Muhammad looks like because we're not allowed to draw him.
Is that why no one knows? Because then how can it be wrong to draw him unless you don't know? If you don't
That's
know.
the thing is if you're not supposed to make images, or some
Yeah.
Muslims at least think you're not supposed to make images of the Prophet Muhammad, may his name be blessed. But I could draw like a stick figure and then point like an arrow to him and write Muhammad, and then
Okay.
I just drew Muhammad. It's the intention, I suppose.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool if you and I got murdered by Islamic extremists?
We would get hope. It would suck if we didn't get enough buzz out of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
The most low level.
The
target.
Salman Rushdie thing, like barely, like I feel like I know about it because I like Salman Rushdie,
Yeah.
right? And I like him because he's courageous. I would never read one of his books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I heard about the fatwa,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I like read a summary of the satanic verses. I was like, actually, this is lame as hell.
Yeah.
You know?
But what's also crazy though, because he got blinded like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So like it was like a 25, 30-year lull between attempts on his life, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. Because, what was that?
He was like speaking at a conference. Some guy like stabbed him like in one eye or something.
And it wasn't. I went to like a couple of like open mics, and I went to a couple of shows after that happened, and literally no one talked about it. I'm like, how is that not a moment in the zeitgeist?
Yeah, I don't. It's just Salman Rushdie is just not a thing for like. You never know what topic resonates with people.
Yeah.
Salman Rushdie apparently not a hot topic in comedy these days.
I think it's mostly I feel like Zoomers literally don't know who he is.
Yeah,
Like if I said the fatwa against Salman Rushdie, they're like, you said a bunch of words I don't understand. But also it's like among a lot. I mean, comedy in New York, I know it's different in Austin. In New York, it's very left wing.
Yeah.
So I think like the best case scenario for the average like comedian in Brooklyn, if you were like, this guy was wrote some things Muslims didn't like, and then one Muslim tried to kill him, they'd be at best they'd be like, well,
What? Yeah.
sounds like they're bad. There's bad people on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, they would equivocate. They wouldn't be on Salman Rushdie's side.
Mhm.
That's why he's a heroic figure.
I wonder if the Charlie Hebdo thing happened now, how people feel about it, because that happened in like what 2014,
something like that. Yeah.
and I remember, and I didn't have as large of internet social circle as I do now, but like everybody left of center on Facebook was like, we stand with
That was a
Charlie
much bigger
Hebdo.
story at the time.
Yeah.
But then, like, and it kind of got like revised a couple years later with people like, actually, they were pretty insensitive. They had like racist cartoon, blah blah. Blah.
Mhm.
But like initially, it was just like, this is insane, just murdering.
But even that is like the Overton window moving a little bit, because it's like, even if it was full blown racist, what they were doing, you don't get to like to murder them in reprisal.
Yeah.
That's not how you
That's
deal
why I
with
was
bad
like
speech.
the Westboro Baptist Church. You need those kinds of people.
Yeah.
You need people to protest outside of a soldier's funeral.
Mhm.
Like do whatever the most, tasteless thing you can do, because they're defending our rights.
Mhm.
Because next time, what if I get the hankering to protest a gay funeral? And I'd be like, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Well, they laid the groundwork for me to do that.
They're the forefathers of being a dick.
By the way,
Dude.
sorry, I'm protesting your funeral.
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's the thing, because being gay is wrong, and so that's why.
Dude, if people protested my funeral, I'd feel so important. Well, actually, I wouldn't feel anything.
Would you care about why?
Um,
Would it matter to you?
I don't know. Why would someone protest my funeral? I mean, the Westboro Baptist Church.
Also, it's not really protest, because protesting, you're trying to stop something from happening. It's like, he was already dead. Like, don't put him in the ground.
Well, that's the thing about the Westboro Baptist Church is they're Calvinists, right? So they believe in predestination. So I watched a documentary about them, actually. It's very interesting because people will go, what are you trying to change? And they're pretty adamant about nothing. We're just supposed to do this.
Oh.
Like it's the means and the end, because If you're a Calvinist, you believe in predestination. God created people knowing if they would go to heaven or hell.
Okay.
So they're like, we're not recruiting. We're not changing anybody's mind. You know, it's mostly two families.
That's refreshing.
Yeah. So they're just like, this makes God happy to like tell people about what's right and wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. They're very misunderstood, and I don't mean that in a isn't that a sad thing?
Yeah.
But like for example, they are anti-Semitic. They are anti-Semitic, but not in a racist way. Meaning they're mad at Jews for quote being wrong about God, but if they convert, it's fine.
Okay.
And they're not like racist at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though all their members happen to be white, but that's because again, it's just two families.
Yeah.
It's Fred Phelps, and then the other family. I
don't know the Phelps. What's the other family?
The other
it's Phelps. Oh, I'm trying to think. Might have heard them.
Well, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit because obviously they have in-laws.
Yeah.
But those are just weird, dude. Honestly, because Fred Phelps had a daughter and she had a lot of daughters, and it's just I think guys doing anything for pussy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like marrying into the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a journalist that went to cover them and then got converted.
Yeah, I think I heard about it.
Yeah. It's
the worst journalist ever. The most susceptible.
Dude, what a rube. Honestly, I get it though, because they have personality tests, quote unquote, in Harlem for the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
And like a buddy of mine was like, we should do that. That'd be funny. And I was like, I don't want to accidentally become a Scientologist. Because if they're like nice to me, I'll be like, I see where you're coming from.
That's why you also avoid gay saunas. It's like, I don't want to walk in and feel like, you know what, I belong here.
Yeah.
Rather keep it mystery. But yeah, that is funny to be worried that you might fall into this. It's a good thing to know about yourself. Do you think you're susceptible to that?
No, but I actually think like as I get older, it's a combination of getting older, having more life experiences, and also living in New York City, is that I think I'm naturally agreeable, but I've become more disagreeable.
Yeah.
You know
I think I agree that I'm such a hardened skeptic like that. I wouldn't be susceptible to it. But if they just kept like praising my comedy, I'd probably just hang out with them.
Ilya, you're so funny.
It's like, thank you.
Thank you.
If they ask me what my process is, I'll be like, you guys are great. Guys, you don't understand. Like I'm with them like outside of soldiers' funerals. Like, no, you don't understand. I know it looks weird, but trust me, they have great taste in comedy.
I don't think you could stroke a comedian's ego until he becomes a right-wing lunatic. So Fred Phelps was the leader of the Westboro Baptist Church, which, if anyone's confused about what that is, that's the people that hold the God.
Was like a civil rights lawyer or something?
He was a civil rights lawyer. So the God Hates Facts guy was like a civil rights lawyer. He's like one of the OG ones.
Yeah.
Because he's dead now, but he was like coming of age in like the 50s and 60s, and he got disbarred for just being a lunatic.
Yeah.
And then fell into this weird, crazy religious fanaticism.
Okay.
And a lot of them are lawyers.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true. Yeah, I knew that about them. Yeah.
And a lot of them are also nurses, which is weird.
We got to cover the legal and medical profession, keep it all in house.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But like the lawyers do all their own lawyering, but like the nurses presumably work in like hospitals or doctor's office, and it's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, just protesting a soldier's funeral.
Yeah. But do you think they refuse to treat like gay people though?
I don't think so. I think they take the Hippocratic Oath, and they just kind of leave work at work, I suppose.
Look, I leave my gay hate outside at the door. When I'm here, I'm a professional RN. I do my job.
Crazy, man. I don't know. I think I'm so fascinated by cults in general.
Yeah.
And what I think is really interesting is that their prophecies will, so far, never come true. Right. And then they'll think of some reason why like the mothership didn't come last Tuesday, even though we all said it was going to.
Yeah.
And still be a part of the cult.
They still fix it. Yeah. But also, like, there's also a certain point where, like, you've invested so much of your life to it that to acknowledge that you would waste it all is like would be too hard for you to swallow that pill.
I think so.
Like, I think we're right. I'm just gonna stick.
There's
with it.
this story of a guy joined a cult. Him and his wife joined this cult, and the guy, because it's always a guy, he was the head of the cult, and at some point, which always happens, he was like, God talks to me,
Yeah.
and he does want me to have sex with all your wives.
Yeah.
And all the guys were like, okay.
Yeah.
And this guy, he was married to this woman, and this woman was fucking the cult leader. And the cult leader told this like cucked guy, go to the supermarket and buy me a specific type of ice cream. Yeah. And apparently as he was walking like down the ice cream aisle, he was like, wait a minute. there was something about like just the decadency of like, not only do I need to, because sex in a lot of people's minds is this kind of like spiritual thing. Yeah. So I could almost see like, oh, we have to be aligned with the universe. But just to be like, hey, while I'm fucking your wife, can you get me mint chocolate chip ice cream? Americone Dream if they have it. Just be like, hold on. Wait a second. Dude.
That's having an epiphany in the ice cream aisle, the frozen aisle.
And Scientology in particular, you'd be like, how the hell do people fall for this? Because they literally charge you money to like move on to the next level. Yeah. Like, I think all religions and cults are ultimately like, hey, give us your money. Yeah. But a lot of them are really kind of sneaky about it.
That's how you go about it, but yeah. Mm-hmm. But then it's always funny when like they've just trained. It's weird when it's like you said they're a married couple, like or a couple and they have like young kids. It's like being at that age, at that situation in life and still being like falling for a cult.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
It's strange because I think some people need meaning more than other people do.
Yeah.
Because I have like my core beliefs and values, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just trying to collect tokens to not starve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine. But like, I always think of the QAnon documentary.
Yeah.
Where it's the couple. It's hilarious too, because they won't say like where they live. They say they live in a blue state, but they very clearly like are from Boston. Like they have the most cartoonish Boston accents. And they're just like a regular, like these two white people, and they're married, and I don't believe they have kids. No, they have a child, and they're living in a house, and it's like a fine house. Like it's nothing special, but it's not like run down. And they're talking about how they used to be liberal, like they voted for Obama twice, but then they got sucked into the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason they gave was like, oh, well, we started thinking like Obama was president for 8 years, and we were just like, has our life gotten any better? Well, I'm like, you might have hit the ceiling of your talent and intellect. Like that might just, you're a couple, you have a child, you live in a house. I don't like, what else do you want? You know, it's this weird, I don't know.
Obama kept us from like having a mansion. It's like things would have been different if it wasn't Obama.
It's like, really? You go out to park the car and you're supposed to be a fucking millionaire?
Yeah.
Come on. Only Bill Burr can talk like that and have millions of dollars. No offense, other people from Boston, if you're listening.
But you do have a horrendous accent.
Yeah, it is.
It's aggressive.
Icky, dare I say.
I
know I look like from Boston. People assume all the time. They're like, you're from Boston. And I'm like, I'm just of Irish descent. Dude.
Yeah, just
crazy.
being Irish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good gamble.
I've never been to the motherland. Do you have any? Well, you were actually born in Russia.
Yeah.
Soviet Union at the time.
It was.
Do you have any inclination of like going back to Russia?
No.
Not at all.
We went on a vacation, not kind of vacation once when I was in high school. That was the only time I ever went back.
And you don't speak Russian at all?
No. I think it was probably my first language, like when you were very, very young, but no, I don't speak it.
So how old were you when you went to Russia the second time?
Like 16.
Okay, so what was it like?
It was weird because like we went with my folks, and my parents have a lot of resentment for it. They don't like it. We're Jews, Russian Jews, so we aren't Russian. Like on my birth certificate identifies me as a Jew, not as a Russian. And so it was very clear sort of not caste system, but like they had quotas for jobs and like university admissions, like a certain percentage of Jews, like how many can be in there. And so my dad hates it. They've only had to go back like for like family things, like bury one of their parents or something like that. So we go there. I remember first, like at the airport, like it was something with, I think it was about getting the rental car or something. And it was like some security guard thing, and they had to like pay him, and it was just like bribing him, and like because the corruption is rampant everywhere. So like right off the bat, and then we did this like boat tour in St. Petersburg, and there was like some old lady, like wearing a babushka, like just like old ranting lady. I don't know what she's talking about, but apparently she was saying something about Jews or the Jews. And so my dad got into an argument and yelled, and they threw her off the boat or something. So that was when we come back. It was like, Moscow's cool. It's a big city. It's like New York kind of, and St. Petersburg is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice city. But yeah, no, I have no feeling whatsoever. I have no desire to go there really.
Mm-hmm.
But you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I remember when I talked to Natan Badlov, he's a mutual friend of ours, and he was also born in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he's Uzbek, right?
Uzbekistan, yeah. And I think at the time I didn't even know he was Jewish. So I was like, would you ever want to go to, because he used to go by Nathan.
Okay, yeah.
And so I just had no idea. But I knew he was from Uzbekistan. So I said, do you ever want to go back? And he was like, fuck no, dude. He was like, why would you ask me that?
Yeah.
That's like saying, like, do you want to go back to your like abusive?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like no.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also has Jewish on his birth certificate.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Unlike the Russians, I think it's great that you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
You do look great today, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Have I said that?
You said I looked nice, but then you upgraded to great.
Yeah.
Great.
The color scheme is nice.
Oh, thank you.
The black on dark colors. I try to fuck with dark colors too, except sometimes I encounter.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking of a joke on here. It's like on Hinge. It's like I like dark colors. Whatever that option is.
I fuck dark colors.
I fuck dark colors.
I fark.
Or fark dark colors.
I fack. Ooh, fack.
Fack the con.
Honey, go out and fuck the car.
Honey, can you fuck the car?
The car means car, and fuck means fuck.
Yes, honey, I want you to fuck the car.
I want you to put your dick in the tailpipe. Ah, dude, one of the worst things I think.
There's no way that triggers something. What the hell is the anecdote that reminded you of?
Just the idea that there's people that literally fuck inanimate
yeah.
objects, and not like in the way that like teenage boys fuck pillows because they don't know any better. Like literally, like, oh, I love my car. That's the other thing. If it's like a weird fetish sexual thing, that's one thing. But if you're like
I think it depends on, if you have a nice, if you have like a nice phallic hood ornament, I would sit on it. If that's like my thing. But other than that,
I have no attachment to like even articles of clothing. Like there's guys that like high heels or like certain lingerie.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do it for me.
Okay.
You know, so don't try, Ilya.
I guess I'll put my bag of used underwear back on the shelf. Do you have your? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep rolling. Do you have like your weirdest thing that you were?
Like sexual thing?
No, changing topic. Please. Yes, it's your sexual thing. It's like, well, I'm really into chess. I've been studying opening gambits. You know, there's a lot to it.
Listen, if I'm watching adult cinema and a girl gets peed on, I'm not complaining.
By a man or woman? Do you care?
Oh, I don't care who pees on the woman. So it could be a man, it could be a woman.
As long as it's pissed on a woman.
As long as it's pissed on a woman. I guess I'm kind of old school in that way.
Man, woman, I don't care as long as you're pissing on that woman's face.
But I don't like a guy getting pissed on. I don't, in general, I don't like when the man's
so like when two dudes piss on each other.
No, I wouldn't watch that. No, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked.
But a woman pissing on a guy, you would watch, but not your thing.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Woman, what I need is the woman getting pissed on.
Okay,
right. But a man can piss on her. A woman can piss on her. Yeah. Those are actually the only two options.
No, they're not. Famously, those are not the only two options in porn. There is a third major option.
Oh man, interspecies erotica, as they call it, and Clerks 2.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Even if they're pissing on the girl. Like if you saw a horse, first of all, I think it'd blow her away like civil rights fire, like the fire hose. A horse pissing on a girl's face. You ever seen a horse piss? It's fucking shooting out like crazy.
No,
you can fucking power wash the sidewalk.
I had Gabby Jordan Brown on here, and she was talking about a documentary that she watched about just like a guy that's like, not only is he like, I think of most guys that would fuck animals as just being like so far removed from society, and they're just like so down bad that they're like literally any hole will do.
Yeah.
But this guy had a wife.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I also make love to my chicken friends. And his wife is like, I don't like it, but you know, he is my husband.
Friends is what really throws out. He said, I fuck the chickens. I'd be like, okay, but you're also like hanging out with them.
Ugh.
My buddies.
Why? What's your weird thing?
I don't think I have a.
You fucking coward. I just told you I like piss,
I know,
and you're trying to change the
But the
subject.
problem is, I always ask you, and you never object. You always just start talking. Like it never even occurs
Because
to you.
I value the
never-
rules of
But
podcasting,
it
which
never
is
occurred to you to be like, I'm not gonna. I don't feel like answering that. You're like, fuck. I guess I gotta answer.
And listen, we're not talking about your sex life. We're talking about like when you're watching adult cinema. Say as a single man, you're watching adult cinema.
Yeah.
What's like you're like, listen, I'm gonna treat myself. Like this is it's the sexual
Well,
version.
I've never like not treated. It's fun. I've never like been hard and fast, like only straight stuff. You can do this, buddy. It's like no, there's no hard and fast rules. Every time you jerk off, it's like, I mean, sometimes it'll be like, maybe you're like you can't find like the thing you want, and then you're like, it's just going on.
There
too
is
long.
a thing of like, because I
It's like when you're driving on the road when you're hungry. It's like I don't want Roy Rogers, but it's gonna be 26 miles to the next thing.
dude, I think because I don't know if you agree. I have this thing of like I don't save porn.
Yeah,
If there's something I like, I have to be able to find it again.
yeah,
Because everything I'm watching has to be on Google Incognito mode,
yeah,
and it has to be something that I just found,
yeah,
like a Googleable thing,
yeah,
because there's something about having like a collection,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
a digital one,
yeah.
that it's just like it's too goony. It's too much gooning.
Are you a physical media guy? You just hold on to porn DVDs.
Yeah, I'm like a guy with a record collection.
When I was in Israel, I did like the free birthright trip, and they had like these bazaars, and like you see people have blankets and the song stuff. There's one guy who just like a giant, those 100 CD folders, just a porn, like just loose porn DVDs that you could buy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
See, I'm old enough to remember as an adolescent, I would go to the movie rental place, and
yeah,
there
yeah.
was a curtain.
Yep.
And I just, my little kid brain even was able to figure it out because
Yeah.
it was always the same type of guy walking out of there,
Yeah.
right? And there was like a Kate, and that to me is like you have to fucking look a person in the eye,
Yeah.
right? And I remember one time there was like this young woman that worked there, right? Like a girl in her 20s.
It's so funny, like nowadays, like there's all this talk about like trans people in bathrooms, and we just had a velvet curtain next to the kids section. It's like that the perverts are there, they're fine. Everyone respects the velvet curtain rule. There's no issue.
You know what's funny too? Because like I was such a fucking rule follower as a little
Yeah.
boy. I probably could have just walked into
Yeah.
the curtain and like saw some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was red, so if you just walked in from behind, you might blend in. You just hold yourself really tight.
Because guys, as I mentioned in the last episode, I was watching Red Shoe Diaries, which is softcore porn for lesbians.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was watching Real Sex, and the unfortunate thing about that, this is an old HBO thing.
Real sex was not great
Because
for
it
that.
was actual people
It was
with their actual real
fat
bodies.
old nudist colony
know.
people. It's like,
Yeah. Ugh.
yeah.
Yikes.
What's
Hated that. And then when I started watching Scramble Porn, Busty Cops 2 was always playing. I had never seen Busty Cops 1, so I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
Right?
I just saw Busty Cops 4 back in Miami.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I forget, what's the police academy for? Is it something? It's something like that. Something Miami.
Dude,
Mission Miami or something. They have Russia.
My fucking dumbass thought you were really.
Wait, what? I don't know what you think.
I really thought we were having a moment because I referenced Busty Cops 2 and you said.
Oh, you thought I was referencing a real movie? And I knew the subtitle for the fourth one.
Busty Cops 4 back.
Have you seen Busty Cops 3? Wait, is that Mission Mars or is that which one? No.
Yeah.
I wish I could have thought of a funnier porn related thing for that.
In some
gotta have
places,
my-
they can't watch porn, dude.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
And then they end up hitting women with
Have you
rocks.
seen that thing like when you travel like good place like I've been to go to Texas area so often and like the thing in the hotel like or if you try to jerk off like they have that thing like you can't access certain sites unless you like provide your ID or like a age verify thing.
Whoa. Okay.
Because they're basically trying to criminalize it. That's a new right wing thing that's going on. They're super anti porn, which I guess they always were a moral majority, but like now they're really harping on it.
I think it's unfortunate because with the internet, it's just like it's going to happen that you're going to watch porn when you're too young.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I was watching softcore porn for lesbians, but like now anything that's on the
I like
internet
it.
is
It
available.
makes it sound like it's an instructional man. Softcore porn for lesbians. The lesbians guide to softcore porn.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird because then there's no way to do an age verification that also doesn't feel sort of Orwellian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I should be able to jack off without my ID.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do hear
that's the placard you make. You're standing outside the Supreme Court.
I think actually, I don't know. But like specifically how to keep kids from watching porn is important, but I do understand the right-wing hysteria is crazy, where it's like don't do it.
It's all this like new trad husband, trad wife, like don't jerk off, have as many kids as possible, like traditional family role, and it's all this boring bullshit.
Yeah,
not moralizing.
Well, and also I feel like there are trad men and trad women out there, and they're religious, and they do have a lot of kids. And they don't document it, and they're just like regular people. The branding is where I don't trust
everything's so performative.
It's
I hate that so much of life now is. It's like this is like everything's for display of to the outside world of this is what I am. It's like it's all so forced. And tedious. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I feel no, like if I'm on vacation, I actually don't need to tell anybody about it.
Yeah. You don't need to.
It's strange.
Yeah, it's just nice.
How are you as a man documenting your vacation? Although that is like I don't care about this, but some people are like, I have to, especially if I'm single, my Instagram has to look exciting.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never cared about that.
No.
Because I'm a guy that, listen, I like history. I like hanging out with my friends. I like half price abs at Chili's, and I like doing comedy.
Yeah.
Okay? That's me. And I'm very cool.
You're saying that like you're like the really angry guy on like a reality show. It's like, let me tell you what I'm all about. I like half price abs at Chili's, hanging out with my friends.
I remember this is before. Was it? No, it wasn't before Instagram, but it was when Instagram was new. I didn't have Instagram yet. And I remember I was crowd working people at a comedy show. This is definitely pre-COVID. And just to place the time. And I asked these group of girls that were like a little younger, I was like, talk about dating or whatever. And they were like, oh, well, I got his Instagram. And that blew my mind at the time.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, isn't that a little too far? Wouldn't you just get his number?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, not the number, the Instagram, because then you could see like, what does he do every day? How many followers does he have? I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
That is so wild to me.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
All that stuff should be a mystery until it's too late and he owns you and you're his wife and property. Like that's the way God wants relationships to
So
be.
are you going to make an Instagram for your baby?
If I do, it'll probably be in the same vein as when my Instagram for my dog, where I just make him not fake. I did create a fake one for him, but then that was tired. I'm not going to get too. So I just post pictures of him every once in a while, just saying some like racist right wing.
Yeah. Your dog is sort of, how do you think he got radicalized?
We leave him at home. He watches the news. It's a 24-hour cycle. I don't want him. I try to expose him to all sides, but he fell into the wrong crowd, I say.
Yeah. There is this thing of, men are a little bit more right wing than women, but the divide is spread further in Gen Z. Like Gen Z women are more left wing, and Gen Z men are more right wing.
Okay,
it's sort of interesting. Yeah,
it's all just because the internet, I think, exaggerates everything.
I think so. Yeah, and echo chambers and the fact that they're not. And there was a problem with the fact that there used to be only like 3 news networks where you get all your information. Yeah. I get that, but we're almost like too far in the other direction where it's like you got to listen to either like a right wing lunatic or a left wing lunatic talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
Then we have like, was Winston Churchill evil guy?
Yeah.
That
was like Hitler was Hitler kind of underrated? Was he have like, that's how it's so weird that Holocaust denial is like kind of a thing.
Crazy.
It's like, okay. I mean, but that's one of those things like, wasn't it that thing like people like who don't think birds exist? Like that was a fake thing online. It was, and then it became a real thing.
Yeah. It was supposed to be satire.
Yeah.
And then too many people like started believing it. The Daryl Cooper thing is weird because I listened to a bit of his interview with Tucker Carlson because I was like, okay, enough people are. I don't find either of those people interesting, but I'm like, enough people are talking about this that I do feel like I need to know. And the central thesis, if I remember correctly, Cooper was like, we could have just let Hitler invade Poland.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, we tried that. We tried that with just allowing him to invade Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Like, really, if you think about it, very disrespectful to Czechoslovakia to be like, we kind of don't want to start trouble.
Yeah.
You know? So why do you think he would stop at Poland? Like, it's like something I think an 8th grader would be able to parse.
Yeah.
But this guy just has like a cool haircut and like can speak eloquently.
Yeah.
And it's like vaguely handsome. You know what I mean?
It's the only thing that matters. Speaking eloquently. You speak well. That's so good. I wish I had a better voice. I don't like my voice. I don't have a good voice to compel people, I don't think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I like your voice.
Thank you.
And I think
Do
you
I look
sound
nice?
good today, and I think you look good today.
Thank you, man.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling good about yourself?
Feeling good. I don't know. I take meds like for whatever mental problems I have.
Mhm.
And every month I have to do like a monthly check-in with the psychologist lady.
Mm-hmm.
She always asks like, how do you feel? Like, cause we're always like upgrading doses or switching to no med. And every time I'm like, I don't know. I forget what I felt like before. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel like now. I feel the same. I don't think it's doing anything for me one way or another.
Oh, interesting.
So I have no idea.
These are antidepressants?
Antidepressants and what else? Something else. I was gonna say antioxidant. Just some juice and no, it's antidepressant. Like right now I'm on Wellbutrin, which I think that's an antis.
I don't know. I know a lot of people are on it though.
And I'm on something. I don't know what it's called. Some other thing for a different thing.
Well, it sounds like you're taking your health real seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Also, wasn't able to take the right dose today because I have them all together.
Mhm.
I put them in my mouth and just a tiny pill fell somewhere. It's like, God damn it! As long as it went under the bed, so as long as my dog can't get to it, I'm not worried about it.
Dude, imagine if your dog took some Wellbutrin. Okay, can I ask about Wellbutrin? Does that make you tired or the opposite of tired?
I don't know what I'm supposed to feel or what the drug is supposed to do.
Mhm.
I don't have any active interest in this. It would be nice to not be. Like I used to think. Like I don't know if I think I'm anxious like normal people are.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm depressed. I thought I was depressed, but I think it might just be normal. However, people think about things. So I don't know if I'm really depressive. I am OCD,
Mhm.
and that probably affects those other things. And but yeah, I don't know how you fix OCD like with pills. I don't know how it's supposed to like change how my brain works.
Isn't OCD an anxiety disorder?
Is it a type of anxiety disorder? I don't know.
I think that it is. I don't know
Well,
why
I guess
think
the
that.
concept of OCD is if you don't do the thing,
Mhm.
you would get anxiety. So I guess like that.
Oh,
Because that's why you do it, the ritual.
yeah.
It's just staving off like the anxiety of like something bad happening.
It's interesting. There's this talking about like the anti-porn guys. There's also this weird anti like
Meds
meds people.
Yeah.
And like two things could be true at once. People that shouldn't be taking them are taking them,
Yeah.
and then people that should be taking them aren't.
Yeah.
And there's always some overlap there. But like for me, if you need it and you could deal with the side effects, this is how I feel about Ozempic too.
Yeah.
Because the people are moralizing Ozempic right now. They're like, people are taking it when they should just exercise.
It's
I'm like,
yeah.
Or they could just take like,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
We could change your diet. It's like, well, we also have a thing that will lower your cholesterol. Like,
Yeah.
we have medicine for that.
Yeah. And it's and I get it because I used to be a big boy. So I think when you used to be big and then you lose weight,
It's like when you paid off your student loans.
Right.
You don't want other people to get
Exactly,
forgiveness
yeah.
for it.
well, yeah, because to me, all that it matters, like, because I keep my weight manageable, but I am a little bit hungry at all times.
Yeah.
And that's just like my hunger signals.
Yeah.
Right. And even my ability to ignore my hunger signals is not something that I have authored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, grit is genetic. Like everything's genetic.
Yeah.
People try to find this like gooey center where it's going back to the free will thing.
Yeah.
Where like you're responsible for the good things you do,
Yeah.
but not responsible for the bad.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works, right? So to me, I'm like, if you take Ozempic and it's free or basically free, and side effect free or basically side effect free,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't you take it?
Yeah. I guess the argument you could make is that you don't get the benefit of like whatever the moral lesson is of actually having to work hard to accomplish it, which is there's something useful in that, like having a sense of accomplishment and hard work and finding pride in hard work. But fundamentally, the problem you're trying to fix is overweight, and there's a thing you can take for it. So like, why not tackle it?
Also,
I mean, no
I
one's gonna
know-
be like grit your teeth. Why are you taking chemo? Come on.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
So you're gonna let the blood cells win. You're gonna let the cancer cells win. It's like fight hard. It's like yeah.
I was about to say I ate oranges and my cancer went away as a joke, but actually that's what Steve Jobs really thought.
Yeah, and then he died.
And he's dead.
Preventable. I think Bob Marley also died of cancer, and he couldn't prevent it just by.
No, man, Ja wants me to keep my toe. Bad Jamaican accent. Bad.
Are you? You make it sound like there's a dog named Jamaican accent. Who just pissed on the carpet.
Yeah, it was this weird amalgamation of like, because he was Christian and Rastafarian, because I guess you could be both.
Yeah.
And one or both of those belief systems told him that it would be bad to amputate one of his big toes.
Yeah, the big toe. Was
Isn't
it
that
big? I
weird?
thought it was a little toe. Yeah, it was a toe. Yeah,
One of the toes.
one of those.
I'll say that for sure. Yeah. It's a crazy thing, man. I don't know. I think the thing with Steve Jobs is that he was so used to telling smart people that they were wrong and he
Yeah.
was correct, and that's what made him rich, that he also told himself that he knew more about cancer than the oncologists,
That's fun.
and he didn't.
Yeah, that's a funny way to die. Is pride? Like it's a Greek myth. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat this cancer somehow.
Yeah.
I needed you to diagnose it for me.
If I'm going to die from one of the 7 deadly sins, it's going to be lust.
Yeah.
The good old autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, you're gonna kill yourself?
Well, I think I've never tried autoerotic asphyxiation, but I think if I ever do, I'm going to write a suicide note just in case it goes wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you should be like, I would do it, but I'd not a suicide note. I'd say someone else did this. I'd say Bobby Sheehan did this to me. Just in case. And it'll be a piece of paper that I took from you with your fingerprints all over it, so you don't know. I'm going to frame you for my staged autoerotic suicide.
Guys, if you want to see us autoerotic asphyxiate each other, I guess it would just be asphyxiate. It wouldn't be audio.
Yeah.
If that's something you would like to see or anything else you want to see from us, please let us know in the comments. And remember, folks, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just playing Night Owls. You know I love you.
I hate it so much.
Thank you.